You guys, happy Saturday. I'm not going to stay on long. I'm actually getting ready for a master class, you guys, on a Saturday morning. Welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday. Good morning to everybody across the world. If you don't know who I am, my name is Chandra with Total Life Change Experience, here to encourage and empower and equip you with things, you guys, and show you. I'm not going to stay on long, but I want to welcome you in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Leonard. Good morning. Hey, you guys, I am getting set up. I thought I'd just come on for a few minutes. I maybe have about 20 minutes until I get ready for the next class that I'm going to be in. Today is going to be an awesome day for me. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, doctor. Good morning. I'm up. Look, I'm getting ready to start this day, you guys. Thought I'd come on for about 20 minutes. Thank you for joining my team. You guys, I'm just coming on this morning to talk to you about what they don't tell you about the other side of this thing, you guys. When I started my journey over a year ago, yes, thank you, good morning. Yes, I'm excited about today. Look, I got the notebooks. I got the coffee, y'all. I got the Premier shakes over here. I done did my 30 minutes of my vibration plate. I done got my lip balm out ready. I was like, okay, you got to get yourself ready. But before I do, and before I start this morning, good morning, Miss Cynthia. Before I start this morning, I was like, you know what? I have a due diligence to go over here and talk to my people. I was like, you know what? Because when I started this, it's about time management. It's about balance. It's about what's important first. And for me, you guys, I struggle. I come on here when I say I struggle, because I know that it's not about me, but it's about the people that I'm here to serve. And sometimes I come on and I'm like, God, these people not listening. They just scrolling on by. And, if you don't know anything about me, I'm going to just tell you, my time is my most important asset. And I can't get it back. I can't get it back. So when I give it out, trust me. And when I spend time talking and coming on live, I could be walking my dog. I could still be in bed with my husband. We could be somewhere else doing something. But when you've been called into this space to serve, and you've been called into the marketplace, and you've been chosen to do a thing, and you got to just get up and do it. And I surrendered to God some years ago and said, yes, I'll do it. And now I'm in it. And so I'm like, you know what? And they say, do it as if you're doing it unto the Lord. So you guys, I get up and I'm just like, okay. Now I'm not going to lie to you. I still struggle with consistency because sometimes, I'm just going to be honest. I don't have nothing to talk about when I go live. And I'll be waiting on this unctioning. I don't know if y'all understand what that means. I don't just like to talk and ramble, but I want to feel moved, like, okay, I need to go live, and there's somebody that's waiting on me on the other side. But what I've learned is, in the last year of doing this, is that you just need to show up. Like, if I just do my part is just being obedient, and I'm trusting in my creator to do the rest for me. I don't worry about the how anymore. I just get up and I just show up and I just share my story. And when I tell you that my time is most important to me, it's because what you don't know about me, and I'll tell you a little bit about it, back in 2023, I think it was, you guys, that's when I had this, we had just gotten back off vacation in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. If you don't know anything about my family, my mother, she started this thing years ago where she likes to go to, like, see the lights. She'll pick like a city and a state, and we'll travel as a family, like my mom, my dad, my siblings. So every year she'll pick a destination, from Gatlinburg to Branson, Missouri, to I want to spend Vegas in, LA, because she want to see some lights. So we all meet up. And this year we had decided to go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And so we flew in from the DFW area into Nashville. It was me, my husband, and my son. We flew in and we drove, I think it was like 3 hours on Interstate 40. That's my problem. I struggle with going live. Yes. I'm not going to even lie to you. I procrastinate sometimes. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, what am I going to talk about? And then, I'm going to tell, yes, Miss Cynthia, I struggle with what am I going to talk about? Let me tell you, this is one thing that came to me. Chandra, you are 49 years old. You got 30 years worth of stories that you can tell people about, not just your life, but life experiences. Use your life experiences to bless other people. And there's somebody out here that's about to go through what you went through, or maybe you can talk about a story that transformed your life to other people. And, I tried to, yes, you guys can have a strategy Sunday. Oh my God, that'll be awesome. You should subscribe to her and help her with that. Yes, yes, thank you. You know what? Yes, I did just start the subscriber page, you guys. I'll tell you about that in a minute too. Because what y'all don't, listen, I had the opportunity to go start a subscriber page a year ago. When I have two pages. This is my other page. I have an affiliate page. That's when I started my journey to become a TikTok shop affiliate. Now I've had the access to have a subscriber page for over a year, or a little bit at a year. And it wasn't until I went on Miss Brandy J's, you guys. If you don't know who that is, you got to go just put it in the browser bar and search for her. She's a great mentor. She's a trusted person that I've been looking into, that I've been watching and just learning from for the past 3 weeks. But yes, she's the one who put me on it because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know subscription channel. I'm like, what is that? What do I have to do? I didn't know enough about it. And sometimes you guys, ignorance or just lack of not knowing, because when you don't know a thing, you just don't know a thing. And I didn't think to research it. Nobody was talking about it. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to charge people, $2.99. But I started thinking, every business out there, you guys, charge you for services. There's not one place you can go. You can't come to the doctor without him charging you. You can't see a nurse without paying a bill. If you want to get your car washed, you got to pay to get it washed. I mean, that's just business, right? And so why do you feel, it made me feel like what I had to say wasn't valuable. Like I couldn't put a price on it. So I had this right. This is when you show consistency, you start to see the train and the BOT, and it knows to push and win, right? I mean, but I had to get over that. I had some limiting beliefs that I literally had to get over that I didn't even know existed when it came to social media. Now I have a job and I have transferable skills, and it's like, but you're educating people. Even if you're just talking about how you overcame what you went through in December 2023, you have valuable information. And you guys, people will pay for your services, and you just have to know that you are worthy, and what you have can be transformational. I can talk to you about how my A1C was life-threatening, and when I was in the hospital for 4 days after coming back off of that vacation, you guys, they were like, this is life-threatening. Here I am, a nurse, and I'm just thinking, what? Life-threatening. My husband was here at the hospital with me. I called my mom. I called my kids. I got admitted to the hospital on December 24th. And you guys, I was determined. I heard what they were saying. They were hooking me up to IVs. They were pumping water in me. And I'm sitting here, but I'm going to tell you, I wasn't scared. I was tired. And it didn't feel like, as a nurse, it didn't feel like, I didn't see no lights, by the way. I don't know if that was good or bad. I didn't see any lights. I didn't feel like I knew I was tired. I was fatigued. I may have been burnt out, because as a nurse, we're just constantly working 16 to 12 hours. I'm not realizing that taking care of everybody else through the pandemic, how I had neglected myself. And the story that I'm telling you is I had time to think in the hospital for 4 days, you guys, about my life and about what I needed to do to change. My doctor had told me 2 years prior, you need to find a job less stressful. I was thinking, less stressful where? In the middle of a pandemic, I went to school to be a nurse, and so for me, I don't know if I was resistant or I was looking at, well, who's going to pay these bills? Like, seriously, like, I have bills to pay. I got 2 kids in college. I'm a single mom. And, sometimes we can get stuck on our path when God is about to He's about to transform us. And we're resistant to the transform, right? Yes, thank you. So for me, it was like, God was like, now will you listen to me? He literally had to get me still. You don't want to get still in a hospital bed. You really don't. And so for me, you guys, it was me sitting there, and I just remember laying in that bed thinking, my daughter is not married yet. I haven't seen her graduate from college. My son hadn't graduated from college. Neither one of them had been married. I didn't have any grandkids. It was so much life left in me. And for doctors and nurses to come in and say this is life-threatening, I had to make some decisions and choices. One, about self-love and care. Me being a Black woman, we're always supposed to be strong for everybody else. We're supposed to be strong for our community. We're supposed to be strong for our team. We're in areas of leadership where we're always sacrificing ourselves. And God is like, you're not going to be any good to anybody if you don't take care of self. Y'all, I knew I could stand to lose about 100 pounds. I knew that I could eat better. I knew that I needed to exercise more. There's no excuses when you're working 12 and 16 and pushing 72-hour weeks, and I'm a teacher. I'm an advocate. I'm a nurse. I tell patients what to do. And you get so caught up in serving and those scrubs, and then people still in your face talking about, but you carry it well, but you still pretty in the face. Listen, y'all, we got to get moving. Self-care, priorities, and just loving oneself. And being a black woman and being diagnosed with anxiety in the middle of a pandemic, when a culture that doesn't even believe in anxiety, you guys, I was trying to heal myself, right? Can you? I can't see that. They just blocked that out. I can't see that. Sorry, Pamela, you can't say those things on the live because you can DM me if you need me to talk to you about something personally. But again, TikTok is actually, we're on this platform and it's free, but the platform is not mine, and we have to abide by the community rules. But I do see you, Pamela. Just inbox me, and I'll try my best to help you. Just inbox me, okay? But yes, you guys, I just remember going through that and through those phases and just sitting down. But he was telling me that you're not going to be good to anybody if you're not taking care of yourself. And what we don't understand, that this body is not even ours. I'm a woman of faith, and you know what I'm talking about. Drop a 1 in the chat. This temple, we're supposed to be taken care of so we can be used in the kingdom. And here I am in the hospital bed. I was the nurse who became the patient. So I'm not talking to you as a nurse. I'm talking to you as the person that I became, which was the patient, you guys. I had to look at everything. No more, just, you know how we do. We let the culture kind of like, because that's how we always do it. That's how I'm from Louisiana, so we eat food, right? We eat the seafood. That's what my grandmother cooked and my mama cooked and my auntie cooked the potato salad. We do a thing, right? Thank you all. Thank you for coming in, you guys. Hey, Sheila, thank you for putting the 1 in the chat. And so there I was, and I had to make some changes. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me. I had just gotten married. This is 23. I got married in 2021. When I met my husband, what you don't know, another factor to this story is my husband was a widow. He was married to his first wife for 5 years, and she was diagnosed with cancer. And 7 months into their marriage, it was that was their marriage, and for 5 years he watched and took care of her. And now his second wife, after becoming a widow, is over here in the hospital. I was like, wait a minute. One, I was like, I gotta live for him. And then I waited 16 years. I'm not going to lie. I waited 16 years being a single woman on my husband to show up. And now I'm over here in the hospital. I was like, well, hold on. Wait a minute. I wasn't ready. And I don't know if y'all watched The Matrix yet, the movie. It's like, that movie called The Matrix. Like, I'm over here having a conversation with God, like, not like this. Not like this. Don't unplug me yet, y'all. So, but I really had to think about my quality of life. This is something, as a nurse, most people are busy working, paying bills, taking care of everybody else. And by the time they get to the doctor and the nurse, is by default. It's something that they didn't plan for. You don't ever see yourself becoming the patient. I get patients that would come in and say, I was at work last week. I was driving. We were on family vacation. They were doing something and living life, right? Tapping, yes, it's tipping. Thank you. TAP the screen, you guys. As you come in, and this is truly blessing you guys. I've got about 10 minutes because I'm getting ready for a masterclass, right? And so here I am in this hospital, and I was like, and they sent me home on some medication, you guys. Okay, I don't know if I can talk about it on here, but I had made up my mind. You know how they say nurses and doctors are the worst patients? If this is what she's saying resonates with you, yes. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. We talk about it, but you guys, look at my skin color. We are number 1 on everything, and we got to turn this around. Our culture only make up 12% of this. And why are we number 1? Everything across the board, from heart disease to cancer to, everything. We number 1. And we have to look at that. And I was like, you know what? It was something that resonated in my soul. And I knew what I needed to do. I was either going to be on medications for life, or I was going to turn my food into medicine. I had two options. Well, I had the option of, do you want to live? And if you do live, what quality of life? This was my second chance. This was my cross in the road. Like, if you don't do something to change your life, you're not going to see the transformation. You can't wait on anybody else. This is it. And, as a nurse, I knew this was my opportunity. So when I left out of there, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I made up my mind. I wanted to live. I wanted to have a better quality of life. I wanted to be able to serve without feeling overwhelmed, tired, and frustrated, and just under the banner of being in debt. I was still paying off my student loans, my car note. I didn't want to go. I'm 49. I was like, I am not going into my 50s in debt, because I felt like that was, when you have that debt, it's like you going to work, trading, not just trading your time for money, but now you indebted to the person that you borrow from. And that's not the life that God intended for us. And I know we have to borrow money, but as long as we owe that money, we're constantly going to work. And there goes my quality of life, because my money is going to this debt that I incurred. So I was on this thing of, let me get out of debt, show me a way where I can make money, as a nurse. First, I started out with just a side hustle, you guys. And when the opportunities came to me, I was like, what else? It was like, for me, what else can I do? I just knew I was open for change. I was ready for change, not just from a work point, but from a financial position, from a spiritual position. It was basically realizing that I wasn't in proper alignment. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Sometimes you got to get still. Yes, indeed. We need to talk on health, our health serious in everyday lifestyle. Yes, Miss Cynthia. And that's one of the things where I'll be like, I got to tell people how I was able to leave out of there, because I was determined. I was like, I've seen it done, and I know they tell you for life, I'm not a doctor, I'm a nurse, so I don't diagnose or anything like that. This is all for educational purposes. Let me just put a disclaimer out there. If you're thinking about doing something, changing your diet or anything, talk to your doctor first, because he knows more about your situation. But I'm telling you, as a nurse from my own, and a patient from my own personal story, I knew this because I would educate patients. Change your lifestyle. And it's not saying you can't eat what you want. It's about understanding how our bodies break down the food, right? When we tell you to increase your protein, when we tell you to increase your fiber, when we tell you to increase your fatty oils, and we tell you to walk, 30 minutes a day, do something and move. It's not a lot that you have to do. It's small changes. I made up in my mind I wasn't going to live on medicine. I decided I was going to make food my medicine. And I told the nurses, I remember being wheeled out of there with my husband pushing me in the wheelchair. Y'all TAP the screen if this is blessing you. I was like, I don't know, somewhere in my head, I was like, I'm going to become a content creator, and I'm going to show y'all in 90 days, I'm going to lower my A1C. That was my goal. I was like, I will not be on meds for life. I just could not. I could stick other people's fingers 3 and 4 times a day, but I was not about to stick my fingers breakfast, lunch, before every single meal was a reminder to me. Like, no. Y'all, when they say we're the worst patients, we really are, nurses and doctors. We're like, no, we're not doing that. Now, we tell y'all to do it, and, this is for your health, because that's my business, right? 90 days to lower A1C. Yes, I had made up in my mind. I have a video. I looked a hot mess. I have a video in a wheelchair being wheeled out. My husband's holding my bag. And I was like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do this. And they sent me home on one medication a day. I don't know if I can say that on here. Yes. They sent me on a long acting, if you know what I'm talking about. And they said once a day. And I said, okay, but I got moving. I looked at my refrigerator. I went and got some flax seeds, some chia seeds, some brown eggs, some turkey. I got rid of the red meats, no more beef. I increased my water intake, you guys. I was drinking really a gallon of water a day. That's 16 bottles of water a day, 4 bottles in the morning, 4 bottles between 12 and 4. And then I would sip on water all night, because what you have to understand with, diabetes, or your A1C level, that's what we're talking about. With that, your body, your liver, your kidneys, all of these things in your pancreas, you're trying to heal your body. And if you understand that your body is made of 60% water, you have to help your body. Oh, spiritually, God, He's saying your body, it was never meant to decay. The original plan was never meant for it to decay. Let's get that. And your body built one time, right? It wants to live, but we live in this world, so we know the end, right? Right? We know the end, but if your body's never meant to, it can literally heal itself if you give it the proper food, proper water. Let me tell you, if you've ever broken your arm, your foot, your leg, the doctor may reposition your arm in a cast to mobilize and stable it, but really it's your body that's healing itself. The doctor doesn't put your bone back together. Your body's doing that. If you've ever cut yourself, our goal as a nurse is to keep it clean and covered, depending on, what type of wound you have. But from the inside out, your body is literally, you got your cells, your red blood cells, your white blood cells, all of these things are working together. And then as it heals, there's a scab that shows you where the wound or the scar is. But if you get an infection and you don't keep it covered and clean, it can cause more problems. So what we do is we monitor the site. We make sure, right? Now, if you get something like an infection, we realize that your body is under extra stress, right? And you may need extra intervention like an antibiotic or something like that, which we can give. But I'm going to tell you, if you look at your food and you look at the things that are naturally that we have available to us, and like I said, these are all disclaimers because I am a nurse and I'm in, my job is to follow orders, but I'm also a person who will tell you, look at your life, look at your conditions, and I'm more of a holistic type of nurse for me. For me personally, I want to look at the more natural ways of healing as opposed to subscribing to something that I have to pay. And people will tell you that, you guys have got like 5 minutes, tell you that it's expensive to eat healthy food. Let me tell you something. If you want to live like I did, you're either going to pay the money for the prescriptions on the back end or you're going to pay for healthy food now. So y'all get you a Sprouts, get you a farmer's market, and load your house up with fruits and vegetables, add salad to your meal, eat you some lean meats, eat you some salmon, get you some Buddha bowls or whatever they call those things. Yeah, I'm in love. I have vegetable plates, corn, green beans, sweet potatoes, beans, lentils. I love vegetable soups. It's so many ways that you can be creative with food nowadays. You can literally research stuff and just add to your diet, right? So I was on this journey, and that's why I created the Nourish and Renew cookbook, you guys. It's actually over there in the LINKMIBIO. It's a 28-day, 4-week meal plan of clean eating, you guys. That is what I use to really guide me. It's so funny, guide me. And I started just looking at the healthier foods and how they break down in the body. Because what you don't know is, maybe a lot of people don't know, when your body breaks down food, it turns everything into glucose. But if you add protein to stop your glycemic index from rising, if you add fiber, when you're eating that oatmeal, add some chia seeds, add some flax seeds, add some berries, add some walnuts to it, right? You want to have it's the combination of foods that's going to allow your body this biochemistry. You're trying to biohack your body, you guys. And I need to actually do some more research on that. It's biohacking when you understand the biology. Thank you all for the likes and the love. I see you all down there in the thing. I see all the hearts coming up. Thank you so much for pushing me out. I really appreciate that. But I wanted to come on here and share that story with you because when I started this, that's one of the things that people don't tell you, and maybe it's not broken down because people automatically think I'm not going to be able to eat this again or that again or this. It really is about moderation. And you can't worry about what your family is saying. Honey, you're not going to eat those pork ribs? I'm sure not. I'm sure not. No, because I'm looking at what it does to me. You know what I mean? For me personally, I switched out the bacon, pork bacon to turkey bacon. I eat more of a chicken, fish, poultry type of diet for me. I got rid of the shellfish, you guys. Some of the things, like I said, for me, I was looking at everything because I went back to the source, the creator. What did he really tell us to eat? Y'all, we supposed to be eating from things of the air, from the water, from the oceans. I want to tell you is you want to eat more food that's more alive. When I say more alive, meaning if you took an apple straight off the tree, it's still alive. If you took something right out your garden, it is still alive. Until you pull it away from the vine, it is still thriving. And once you separate that food from the vine, it all starts to decay. Now, I understand that we have a lot of manufacturers out here, and if you go to some stores and you buy their fruit, man, you can sit it on your table and it will become decor. Try me. There are certain stores that you buy fruits and vegetables from, and you have to be like, why is it not decaying? The natural source of any fruit, if you once you pull it from the vine and it's still sitting in there, your oranges and your apples, you need to look at the source of where you are buying your fruits from, because that matters. This is why I started to go to the farmers market. And when I say use a farmers market, you may want to look at farmers markets in your local area, because that means that the fruit and the vegetables probably came from maybe less than maybe 2 hours or 3 hours away. They just pulled them. They just put them in the local. I go to Sprouts. I know Whole Foods can be a little bit expensive. You guys, you can do this by looking at the sale items. Shop on sale every week. What you do is, this is how I do it. I don't break my bank trying to eat healthy. I'm like, if blueberries are on sale this week, well, we having blueberries. If oranges are on sale, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at, because I'm being strategic about how I prep my meals. Like, if this particular meat is on sale, well, we're eating that and this combination, right? So you're learning how to mimic the, what is the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? You're learning how to manipulate the system here. I know I need to eat healthier. And when y'all, cabbage only costs, what, $1.50? You can go to the supermarket and get a cabbage, get some greens. You literally can get you some vegetables for under $30, $25 for the whole week, you guys. And get you some lean meats. Get you some bulk oatmeal. You know what I'm saying? Get you some things that's going to fill you up so you're not just nibbling. Because when you eat those healthy, rich foods, they're going to help your body. And it's also great to have a natural, what we call a natural fast. You want to let your digestive system rest. Y'all, who says we got to eat meat with every single meal? Who made that up? Think about it. That's a lot of work for your digestive system, so that food is just sitting there in your stomach. So I do this natural fast for me, where I cut off my eating at 8 o'clock at night. I don't start eating anything physically until 11 o'clock midday. That's how my body works. So 11 to 8 o'clock, I have this window. And then I let my body rest. Because during the resting phase, that's where your body restores and repairs itself. But if you just ate something, that means you're using energy from your body, where it's supposed to be repairing itself and restoring itself. But now your digestive system is kicked into full-fledged. So knowing all of these things, and people wake up and they're like, I didn't sleep good last night. Probably because your digestive system was still going. It's probably directly correlated, I'm not a doctor, to maybe what time did you eat and what did you drink? Because your body is still, your oven is on, it's working. It's working. And another thing is, I'm actually working on something. I'm going to be getting this together for you guys. So you want to definitely, if you haven't connected with me, you want to go right up top and connect with me, you guys, because I'm going to start to educate you guys on health and wellness. This was one of those areas where, I have a service to give to my community. I went through a phase when I felt like, I don't know. You know how they have like a wounded warrior on the battlefield? Because I was a nurse during the pandemic. When the doctors were telling me to find a less stressful job, I felt the guilt of not being able to serve and, be there with my friends who are still out there working 12, 16-hour weekends. Normally on a day like this, I would be working. Thank you for that follow, Genevieve. Is it Genevieve? Genevieve, okay. I would have been working 16 hours, 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night. Probably would have made it home around 11. Sunday, I would have turned around and did it again. I would have worked 32 hours in 2 days. In 2 days, really more like 35 hours with my drive to work, my drive from home. I would have gotten maybe 5 hours of sleep in that 32-hour shift, the stress on your body. And not only the stress on my body, but spending time away from my friends, family, my loved ones. The sacrifice that goes into it. Every nurse that's out there that's working a 12-hour shift, just know she's left the family behind. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to end on this. But one of the things is, the doctors, I got a golf course back here. The doctors out there playing golf, between me and your creator, is probably going to be a nurse. Be nice to your nurses. Be nice. Be kind to your nurses. It's a lot of us, it's not about the money. We have bills to pay, but we're also leaving families behind. I got friends right now who are still working 2 jobs, with young kids, 3rd and 4th graders, working 2 jobs, working overnight, 6P to 6A, just to turn around and go and work home health for another 8 hours. I work in the hospital industry, and that industry is very stressful. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes, Miss Cynthia. And, It comes with the territory. We signed up for it. We were prepared to do it. We were trained. That's a part of our training, but not to the point where we sacrifice ourselves and our own health. And it happens. It happens. I know nurses who have worked and worked for years and then no longer, now their back is not working. They can't walk. All of these things, and they've taught this to other people. And I said, you know what, we got to stop. And another thing, in our hospitals, they don't even have the appropriate foods and vending machines available that we should be eating. They should have a fruit bowl out for all the nurses and water. We can't drink water at the nurse station, you guys. And we need water. We need water for our body to function. It's a whole bunch of things that I could talk to you about. But for me, I was like, I'm gonna do an ebook. I'm going to show people how I was able to lower. Back to the end result. The transformation is this, you guys, because I know you got to go because I don't want to waste your time. The transformation was I didn't just lower my A1C in 90 days. I lowered my A1C in 60 days. 60 days, my A1C was lowered. They took me off the medication. 6 months later, I'm down 42 pounds. I'm still continuing on my journey of weight loss. Now, my A1C number, that's the test that they do on you to check you to see what your blood sugar was running in the past 90 days. If you haven't gotten that done, you need to have that done. Not only that, I stopped the medication, A1C was lowered, and a year from now, I just see my endocrinologist, a week ago? Yeah, I'm back in normal ranges. My A1C is 5.7, you guys. And so what they call that is, wait a minute, when they say, oh, you're going to be on this for life, I'm thinking, what is that, remission? Now, I understand the dynamics. If I go back to doing what I was doing, my numbers can go up. But I would say I was healed. I was healed. And what did I do? I started with that cookbook, you guys. I started with that 28-day meal plan. I started doing clean eating, healthy eating. I looked at what I was being intentional about what I was putting in my mouth. My food literally became my medicine, like I said it was. I was like, either you're going to spend it, like I tell you. I have patients that are 75, 85, 95, all because they refuse to change their diet just a little bit. It's the little things, the little steps that count, you guys. It's not saying you're going to eat lettuce. I don't eat lettuce and tomato every day. I eat greens, I eat beans, I eat lentils, I eat baked chicken like twice a week, I eat fish once a week, I eat oatmeal, I eat very good food. And if I want Mexican food, I eat it. If I want chips, they're in moderation, you guys. I look at the mixture of what type of bread am I eating. If you're a bread lover, some people say they can't give up the bread. Well, if you're going to eat bread, you need to pick the darker bread, not the bleached down WHIT version of the bread. You understand? It's the type of bread you eat. If you're a bread lover, you just need to switch, right? What is the other thing? Potatoes. Some people are like, I got to have my mashed potatoes. You guys, I eat sweet potatoes like literally 3 or 4 times a week. It does not spike. It's all because I balance it. When I eat that sweet potato, I sprinkle a little flaxseed on it or some chia seeds on there. And I eat like a butter, not a margarine, a butter made from cow's milk. And there's a reason why. Because when you're eating those vegetable oils, I could talk about this all day long and educate people on why the difference between vegetable oil versus olive oil are based upon, yes, quantity matters. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And that's another thing. Most of our meal sizes in America, if you're eating out, that is like 2 and 3 meals. 2 and 3 meals. And in one meal, most people, if you're eating out, you guys, if you're eating out, you're eating all of your calories in one meal. So start cooking more at home. I know. When I decided to do this, I started to meal prep. You are right, Doctor. Yes. Quantity matters. Yes. And you want to get moving. You want to move your body. Like I started with walking. I started with, exercise, moving my body. I also reduced the amount of rice I was cooking. Yes. I'm from Louisiana. Yes. So, every breakfast, lunch, rice and eggs, rice and beans, rice and gravy, rice and gumbo. Honey, we live on rice. And this is how I was raised. And I had to change the quantity and texture of how often or frequent I would eat rice. So I limit rice to like once a week, maybe, because I can eat a vegetable soup dish, you guys, or just some vegetables. Like literally, I can have 5 vegetables on a plate and be just satisfied. And once you start to train and teach your palate to eat other things, when you go back and try to eat that stuff, it's going to tell you we don't want it. We don't want it. It will make you sick. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, it tastes so good, but I feel horrible. your body will tell you and start to tell you what it wants. My skin looks better now. I still got freckles on my face. Like I said, I'm down 42. I still have a ways to go. I bought me a vibration plate. That's my transformation. That's my story, y'all. No longer my doctor's just looking at me like, yeah. Now, the only thing we got to work on is just getting healthier. So now what I've done at my age, at 49, is not about, I do my cardio, but it's about building muscle weight. So when do low impact resistance training, you're going to build the muscle up, because what happens as you age, and especially for women, we deal with osteoporosis, where our bones, we want to keep our bones, and it's our muscle that's attached to our bone. We want to make sure that we have the muscle weight, because now we're getting to that age where we're more prone to falls. I am a nurse who do not, thank you so much, nurse that does not like falls. Y'all, woo! I will write up a person like, did they fall? If somebody, this is a joke and I got to get out of here. I used to work on the night shift. I'm like, if they fell, they wiggled for 30 minutes to an hour. They wiggling, trying to get on that floor, trying to go to the... I tell my aides, listen, make your rounds. We got to make our rounds, because a lot of these falls can be preventable. They're nice when, you're like, what happened? If you see the one leg hanging out the bed, if you see them just moving, where you going? What you trying to do? Because the call light is there and maybe they can't find it, you guys. I'm a stickler because I've seen too many things happen when a person falls. They come back with, it takes them longer to heal. They get a little foggy. It's just we're at risk. So you want to think about those things as we get older, our eyesight, our balance, all of those things as we're aging. And for me, I've just seen things happen when people fall. And it's usually the injury from the fall that may have been preventable. And it's nothing like having to call a loved one and say, we found your mom or dad on the floor. And it happens. And we're like, what happened? Well, why was nobody watching her? And we are. We are. So I'm one of those nurses who is stickler on the night shift, on the weekends. Listen, you guys. Matter of fact, bring them up to the nurse station with me. Bring them up here. Roll them all up here. I'm one of those nurses. You find your mother, your father sitting at the nurse station with the nurse. I'm that nurse. Listen, I'm finna give them a notebook and a pen. They finna go to work. They want to be up at night. I got patients that I have 5 or 6 patients up with me, you guys, on the night shifts. Bring them up here, because they're up. And you got to understand, if you're a night owl at home right now, you know who you are. You find yourself going to bed at 1 or 2 at night. I have to tell my aides and stuff, my CNAs, listen, they probably were night owls at home. That's the small bunch of people that they just up. They want to watch TV. They want to walk to the refrigerator. They want a snack. So what do? I treat it, this is their home temporarily. So I treat it as, okay, they're up. They want to eat. They want to snack. They want to watch TV. You can't make a person go to sleep because that's what you want to do. So another thing, you guys, don't forget, patients. I talked about this on my other live. Patients have Bill of Rights. Listen, know your patient Bill of Rights, you guys. Before you get there, you want to know what your rights are. I talked about this on my own live. I'll go more in depth on it, knowing what your rights are. You said you still have the same constitutional rights as if you were outside of a facility as a regular American. And when you get inside of the facility, you have patient rights, and you need to do your own due diligence research. You need to know it for yourself and explain to your children. Because the children tend to think that the nurses have the power. I'm like, they have the right to refuse care. They literally do. So anyway, you guys, that's my story this morning. If you want to grab my Nourish and Renew 28-day meal plan cookbook, is over there for, I think it's $14.99. You can grab that up. That's how I lowered that's what I use. That's what I started with, you guys, and I continue to do this journey. But I'm going to get off of here because I got to get prepared. But I did want to come over here. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Miss Cynthia. Thank you, Doctor, for coming in and liking the screen. Thank you, Dr. Gamacho, for being a part of my live. Miss Cynthia, thank you all for sharing it out. I really do appreciate it, you guys. And like I said, sometimes I don't know what to talk about, but again, I'm going to start sticking to, because even though I had to pivot in my career, for my own health reasons, right? God said to me, you're still going to be effective in the kingdom. I'm taking you out of the brick and mortar. I'm taking you out of the brick and mortar. Matter of fact, and I was thinking, I'm leaving the team. He said, no, I'm expanding your territory. So for those of you who have been called into the marketplace to teach online, just think that there's 5 billion people, you guys, that are on social media. There are 8 billion people in the world. Thank you for that. There are 8 billion people in the world. There are more people that you can expand. I was limited. He was showing me that you were limited in there. I need you to go live so you can educate, so you can teach people. And you can not only just teach from a nurse standpoint, from my education, but you can speak from your own personal experience, your own personal journey, and y'all can watch me do this in real time. So I come to you as Chandra, a total life change experience, here to encourage, empower, and equip you with the things so that you can live the life that God has called you to live. You guys, y'all have a great Saturday. Thank you for joining my team. Woo, woo. And you guys, y'all have a great day. I got a master class to get started for. I'm going to go ahead and check on my dog, Bella, see my husband, because today I'm going to be just like a sponge. Y'all have a great day. Thank y'all for the support too. Y'all have a great one.